Hello, guys. Good evening. Welcome back to Mihai's Mind. So, what we're gonna do, gonna pass you on to Danielle to say good evening and to ask us a question on what she thinks that we should talk about this evening, and then I'm gonna give you an answer. Today's podcast is gonna be quite short and to the point. Okay, so.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all feeling well. I hope you're enjoying the sunshine. We're here in sunny London live with We All Fit. You're tuned in with Mihai on Mihai's Mind tonight. So, what we're going to ask Mihai tonight is how to not be discouraged by what actually is going on in the world around us all the time, and how not to be consumed by what people would probably call a low mood or a negative mindset.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is okay. So thank you for the question. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go and have a sit down, and we're gonna have a chat about what's the best way to cope. So and find out the best way to do so, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put you guys up here so you can see some scanny light, right? So we want to see the sky. I am right. So let's see. Okay. So Daniel asked us, uh, what would be the best way to stay positive in times? Yeah. So of course, well, challenging times has been always. There's always been challenging times. Yeah. It's not just now. It's not after this is gonna end. There's always gonna be challenging times. So what we need to do is we need to understand that challenging times is good for us, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, just imagine that you're a flower. You're not even a flower yet. You're like a seed. You're a seed underneath the earth. Someone just plant you as a seed. So we are like those seeds, yeah? So what we gonna do about that? Because we want to grow. So how do we grow? Well, if there's no grow. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is, yeah. So how do we get challenged if not by actually having obstacles in life? You know. So if you say, "Oh, but hey, look at the world, this at this moment, or that moment, or the other moment," well, it's quite easy and simple. If you look at the world, there will always be challenging moments. And if they're not, we would get bored. Like, look at us at this moment. Everyone's in the house and everyone's getting bored, right? Because we do not have a challenge, right? But now that we're in the house, we have to challenge ourselves even more in terms of challenge our minds. That's why it's called this lectures are called, or whatever you want to call them, podcast, broadcast, whatever you want to call them. They are to challenge us in terms of not physical, or you can take it as a chance or opportunity to challenge yourself physical, because you can still go out in a park and do your run. You can go in the garden or living room or your bedroom. You can still do press ups, push ups, squats, or whatever you want to do. You can still do them, or you can still do your meditation. And why not? Why not do this? Why not? What's there to stop you? I mean, of course, we can all have a beer and drink it. Why not? It's good to have a beer, it's good to have a glass of wine, it's good, it's all good. But look, you have to look within ourselves and look beyond all of this, because you can have a beer any day and every other day and every whatever you want. What we want to do here is we want to choose the real path to cope with challenges in our lives. So how do we do that? Well, I'm not here to um, charge you or anything. I'm sure you look around media surrounding us, bombarding us, and so on and so on. Right? We're not here to talk about that anyway. So my basic point, we need to start from what is really going on, right? We're not here to talk about pandemics or viruses or anything like that, guys. Just so you understand, you know, um, you cannot be clean on the physical part without being clean on the mental part, right? So you have to be clean on the mental part. How do you get clean on the mental part? Because the mental part is where you start, yeah. So how do we do that? Well, first we have to um, either sit down or lie down, or sit in a meditative position and lie down on the bed or sofa or chair or whatever you have, in the sky, in your room or whatever, right? It doesn't really matter. What we want to do when we want to do is we want to look and pay attention to the thoughts in our heads, you know. So the reason for this podcast tonight is a lot of people that I know, they ask me, how can you stay positive in a time like this? Everyone is asked to stay indoors, everyone is asked to not do this or not do that, you know. And I say, well, personally, me personally, I don't want to get into details, but personally, you have to look at the bright side, right? First, we have a best time of our lives. There isn't a war going on against anyone. The only war that is really going on is against flesh, right? So your minds and my mind and all of us, all of our minds, they making us look at beyond the physical form, you know. So physical form is just an expression of our thoughts, right? Now, of course, we might have debates on this or not, but look, the point is this: I would like you to prove me wrong, in the terms of you should, like I said, sit down, lie down, or whatever you do. Just be by yourself a little bit, in the sun, out of the sun, in your room, whatever you want, and just pay attention to what your mind is saying. Yeah, just be there as an observer. See what really goes on. What is your mind telling you? It doesn't matter what your friend told you. What is your mind telling you, right? And I'm gonna quote this thing from also he and also he quoted from two philosophers meet in the park, and one of them says to the other, so you look great, how do I look? He looked at him, he didn't say anything. Then this first person says again, uh, you think amazing, what do I think? So the moral of the story is, because I'm just gonna cut it short, we always expect other people to say or think or tell us what they think about us. Then we don't really have any expectations of us. We always wanted to prove. We always want to prove to our friends, to our family, to everyone that's around us, to our boss or whatever, you know, kids, family, sisters, brothers, you know. So what we want to do, we don't want to really do that anymore. We really want to sit down and understand who and what we are as humans. Like, I mean, we're not doing this collectively, we're doing it individually. Collectively, there's no individual, you know. So you have to think of yourself as being an individual. I know in your workplace, they always tell you that we are team, we work in team here, we are team working, and so on and so on. But this is not about your workplace. This is about you as an individual. When you go home, you know, I know you're gonna say, "Oh, but hey, I'm always at work." But so what? It doesn't matter. When you're at work, you always come with the idea of being an individual, and then you report it to your colleagues or your manager, and then if it's accepted as being a good idea, then you will become a collective idea, and so on. But how do you become an individual without compromising anything, right? I'm not getting gonna go against anything, society or publicity or media, or it's nobody's fault. Look, the way we think is the way we are inside. Yeah. So my personal opinion is, and through all these years of hard understanding, because nobody told it to me for free, I had to pay for it, and I had to meditate, and I had to look for things to actually understand who I am. All I can say you is sit down with yourself and try and understand who you are, right? You have to understand who you are. How do we do that? Like, we're gonna go into details a little bit now. So after you lie down, you're comfortable, right? Try not to move physically. Physical, we will always try to distract you, right? So because we live in the physical world, we will always be distracted by the physical world, because we think that physical world is not all there is. And a lot of us now these days actually perceive and understand that there isn't everything, right? So the world is just the physical world is just the beginning, right? It's just a response to everything we think. So what do we do now? So I hope you understand, guys. This is not easy to explain and put into words, right? What we want to do is sit down first. Try not to move. Just don't move one single bit, right? If it's noisy around you, put your earplugs on. If it's still light around you, well, you have two options. You either look like you almost shut your eyes, but you still fix your eyes. So you almost shut them down, but you fix your eyes towards a point in your room. You either sit down or lie down or whatever you do, and just stay there and wait, right? If you don't move, I know your body's gonna go up and down, it's gonna start itching, and it's gonna start giving you things, right? What you wanna do, you wanna listen to what your mind is saying, right? Now, this is the best time to find out what your mind is saying, because now you're in quiet, you're actually listening to your mind, when otherwise throughout the day you will be like compromised. You'll be compromised by your mind. I'm not saying all of you. Most of us are. Most of us are compromised about our minds. Our minds make us do things that we're not ready for. And how do I mean by that? Well, first of all, our minds are creatures of habit, so whatever we indulge through from the physical world towards our mind, or whatever through our thoughts, right, it becomes a habit. And habit is what really goes on in our minds. But you do not want to be guided by your habits. You want to be alive every day. You probably ask yourself, hey, but I haven't been living for a long time. And when I mean living, I don't mean by drinking, partying, and all of that. I mean really living, like really enjoying the sky, really enjoying the oxygen, really enjoying a meal, and so really enjoying a friend or family or company, really enjoying yourself as a person, right? So you have to sit down and then try not to move and listen to your mind. Just listen to your mind and see where your mind towards what place your mind is going, right? And then after you do that, after you do it, let's say you do it for between 5 minutes to 20 minutes, yeah, you can come out of it and write down the prime uh, thoughts that you're getting. That's how you do it. That's the first stage of it, right? Now, I know a lot of you, a lot of people saying they're going through depression or girlfriends, boyfriends, they left them and this and that. But I'll tell you, everything that happens to you, it happens because you have to grow. And your girlfriend or boyfriend left you, that's not a problem. You will find someone way more suitable for you. Not better, don't get me wrong, way more suitable for you. And that person being more suitable for you makes it better, right? You want a person because you're blindly feeding your ego and you want that person. But you don't want that person, you want the right person for yourself, okay? So what we want to do now, we want to understand that that goes in all aspects. Just because we think that this is the right job for me, it's not the right job for me. Just because I think that, oh, this is ruining my life, it's not actually ruining your life. You have to look at the bigger picture, bigger aspect, bigger, you know. We all live as collective, like we all live in a society. We all try to help each other. But once you understand that each other is not each other, is called each other, so it's us, it's all us, it's not people outside of us. And all those people that you want to call them people or humans or whatever you want to call them, they're all you, right? I know this is gonna sound boom, but hey, look, if I go around, I move from this country to another country, and I'm moving with the hope of becoming or getting better or getting a better job, doing this or doing that. Everything's gonna be almost better, perfect, right? Well, we always get the surprise that it's not, right? Because even though we move to another place, another neighborhood, another country, whatever we move in, we always come across things that will make us disturbed or anxious or nervous or fearful or whatever, because those things actually come from within. It's your thoughts. There's nobody in the world that will make you do that. Someone comes and argue with you, right? It's because they want to. It's your thoughts that putting you in a spot, and that means they're pressuring you to grow. It's almost like that land above that land, that piece of ground, the earth on top of the seed. The seed is trying to break the top of the ground to come out and produce a flower or whatever food, a potato or whatever there. Without any resistance, there is no growth. So wherever you go in this world, you will still have challenges, right? What you have to do is actually understand where the challenges come from. Your challenges come from within, right? Either you're aware or you're not aware of them. That depends on you as a person. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. But hey, I would like you to take this and try out and see if I'm telling you the truth, first. Like I said, lie down. Second, pay attention to your thoughts, right? Just pay attention. Don't get involved with them, right? You're gonna say, "Oh, how are we gonna not get involved with these thoughts?" Well, the best way is like this: you're walking down the street and you see two people arguing or having a debate, right? And you are you keep going to the shop. Let's just say that your wife send you to the shop. If you're a guy or if you're a female, you just have to go somewhere. You have to do whatever, you know, or you want to go to the shop, or maybe you're single, or it doesn't matter. You are going somewhere, right? Now, if you see two people arguing, you're not getting involved. You're minding your own business, right? So you move on and move on and move on. It's the same with your thoughts, you know. Your thoughts will always come and consume one another, and at the end, they will end up consuming you if you pay too much attention to them, right? So what you want to do, first of all, to not get involved, just listen to your thoughts, see where they come, see where they go. You see them come, basically you see them coming, you see them going, and you just listen to them. You're not doing anything with them or against them. You're just there to see, like a watcher, right? You're just looking outside your window. It's rain outside, but you're not going outside. Okay, that's all you have to do for now. Write it down. Write it down. It's very important. Write down your thoughts and give them no thought for a while, right? Just leave them there. When you're ready, in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks time, you will be ready. That pages will call you. Those thoughts will call you to have a revision, look over them. And you will go and look over them, and you will see that most of the times you will just stress or just concern over nothing, right? And if that's not the case, put them back in. Put them back in a drawer, wherever you kept them, away from your sight, and give them another 1 week or 2 weeks. Then take them back out and look at them and see how you feel about them right now. Like another example I can give you, you just had an argument with someone, a physical argument, and you want to tell him or tell her, ta ra 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 ra, right? But you're not. So you're going home, you write it down, and you take that you wrote down and you put it in a drawer, and you're not looking at it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever. And once you look at it, you're gonna have a shock, because whatever was going on about, or what was going on in between you and that person, it will not mean the same thing for you right now. Okay, that's one thing I can tell you. The next uh, step in this is, you also have to keep a positive mind. And how do you do that? How do we not indulge in let's just give you an example. Now you're walking down the road to the shop and you see two people arguing. You can also most of us step in and say, "Hey guys or girls, there's no reason to fight, you know." And they'll tell you, "Oh, go away, what do you know? You don't know our problem, you know. What do you step in for? Mind your own business," right? Because that's what thoughts say sometimes, you know. And let me explain in terms of thoughts. So you had an argument with someone mentally, right? And the easiest way I can put it is like this: one side of your idea is call the person and tell him to ta ra 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 ra, and the other side is, nah, it's not worth it. So pretty much it's the same with those people on the street, right? One of them will say, "Oh, what do you know? Mind your own business." Or the other person might say, "Mind their own business." They might say it together, "Mind their own business. What do you know about us?" So you can say, "Okay, tell me, what is going on? What is really going on?" And you will see. one of them will say a positive, and the other person will say a negative, because he's yin and yang, and yin yang is always in us. That's the life. That's how it is. It has to be positive and negative in our lives, because positive cannot grow without negative, and negative is there to grow the positive, right? So one of you might say to me, "Oh, but I have too much negativity in my life," or "I'm always positive," or "I'm always this," or "I'm always that." My family makes me happy, or my kids make me happy, and so on and so on and so on. And then I say to you, "But are you really happy?" And then you will go like this forever. So back to what I was saying is, you're listening to your thoughts, and you pay attention to what are they on about, and that will tell you what you on about. You're upset with a colleague, with your boss, and this and that. Well, I'll tell you this, which is the next page, and I'll make it the last page on today's lecture. You have to once you find out that you say your boss is mistreating you, and I say there is no such a thing as your boss mistreating you mentally, because you are mistreating you mentally. So you're basically mistreating yourself mentally. Your boss can't have a space in your mind unless you give it space in your mind. So what am I saying? I'm saying stop having that mental argument with yourself, with your boss, with your kids, with your mom, with your dad, whoever it is, with yourself, right? Just stop having that mental argument. Mental argument is what causes it, right? You say, "Oh, I'm always hungry, I'm always this, I'm always ill, I'm always sick." Well, of course you are. If you're always hungry and you're always negative, you will attract all of this in your life, right? So stop doing it. Then the next thing you're gonna say to me, "But how do I stop thinking if someone tried to do me wrong? How do I stop thinking by repaying him back with wrong?" Well, basically it's like this. Instead of thinking that he done you wrong and you want to get him back or her, think this way. Do you know what? It's okay. It's a learning curve. She or he doesn't know what he's doing at the moment. I still love the person, and I'm sure they will come around, and then they'll appreciate me loving them and helping them. Even so, right? Now, maybe this is not easy to understand. Maybe it's just like Jesus said, when someone slaps you on the cheek, turn the other cheek and ask them to slap you on the other cheek as well. It's pretty the same thing. It is the same thing. But it's not a physical thing, You don't have to let anyone slap you physically. It's not about that, What I'm saying is, first, before an argument would happen to yourself as a person, as an individual, that argument will be mental, right? So mentally, try and have good conversation with yourself and with your neighbors, yeah? Have good conversation. Be happy. Try and enjoy. Don't think negative. There's no reason to be thinking negative. Negative is not good for anyone. And saying that negative is not good for anyone is not good for anyone, right? So always try and think positive of ourselves forward. If you're sad and you think of sadness, you will always get sadness in your life. But if you're sad and you think of happiness, but don't say "I will be happy." Say "I am happy right now because I will be happy," or "I'm gonna be happy." Postpone your happiness, Happiness has to be right now. So what you want to do is you have to appreciate the happiness. Say "I am happy. I am happy. I am loved," or whatever you want to say. Please do send them, and we will try to get back to you as soon as we can.